Hello, welcome to Yoga with Di. I'm Di, and this is a lovely, gentle practice to really soothe the body and soul. It's a great one just before bedtime, or a great one if you're feeling anxious and just need to de-stress and calm down. So come join me on the mat. Let's get started. So you can keep your socks on for this practice if you like, because we're going to stay quite low today, quite close to the floor, and not doing a huge amount of movement, just enough to kind of relax the body. So let's start in child's pose, and you might want to have the toes touching, the knees wide, push the bum back to the hips, and slowly stretch the arms forwards, lowering the head to the mat. If this isn't comfortable for you, feel free to lift the seat slightly, keep the arms stretching forwards, and just find a position that feels right for you where you're creating space in the sides of the body. And just start to notice the breath coming into the torso. So as you breathe in, feel the torso expand, feel the breath moving down the sides of the body. And as you exhale, just perhaps allow yourself to sink a little deeper into the earth. So feeling the expansion of the torso with every in-breath and a gentle softening into the earth with every exhalation. And just continue with this, observing your body and observing the flow of the breath. And you might want to start noticing the rhythm of your breath today. Don't judge, just observe whether your breathing is slow and deep or faster and shallow. No judgment either way, just noting that rhythm and that depth of breath. And then when you're ready, maybe just start to walk the hands back towards the head and really nice and slowly bring yourself up to a seat on your heels. No rush, just gently moving yourself back to a comfortable seated position. And let's take some shoulder rolls. So just nice and slowly start to lift the shoulders to the ears and then roll them back. Roll those shoulder blades down the spine. Then bring the shoulders forwards and up and roll them back down. And as you do this, see if you can kind of keep the chin fairly still so that we're not sort of trying to drop the chin to bring the shoulders up, but it's just the shoulders themselves that are moving. And then perhaps we'll take them the other way of that rotation. Nice and slow. Just feeling that movement, easing into the movement. And then lifting the shoulders to the ears. And with your next exhalation, letting them drop. And again, lifting to the ears. And then just letting them drop. And you might want to inhale, take the arms above the head. And as you exhale, bring the right hand down to the side and stretch the left arm up. So let's just think about stretching up first rather than over. So really stretching those fingertips towards the ceiling. And then on your next exhalation, maybe think about taking the arm over and stretching into that side body. And just breathing here and noting the breath again, coming down the side of the body. And as you exhale, softening with every out breath. And we'll inhale, come back to the center. Exhale, we'll take the left hand down and stretch the right arm up. So again, just stretching up, breathing here. And then on your next exhalation, taking that arm over and really enjoying that stretch in the side waist. Breathing into that stretch. And then inhaling, coming back to center and walking your hands in front of you to come into your tabletop. I'll spin around a little bit so you can see me. And just gently in your tabletop, starting to take a few little easy movements. So maybe just wiggling the hips from side to side, perhaps making a little kind of figure of 8 with the shoulders. And then gently, perhaps a few little cat-cows, nothing too extreme, just bringing some mobility to the spine, coming into little waves. And then coming to stillness in your tabletop. Take a nice deep inhalation here. And as you exhale, lift the chest and the chin to look forwards and lift the hips. And then inhale in this posture. And as you exhale, come back through to your neutral. And inhale here. And then as you exhale, pushing into your hands and shins to round the spine. Send the ribs to the ceiling. Inhale here. And as you exhale, coming back to your neutral. And perhaps just continue like that for 1 or 2 more in your own breath. And don't worry too much about keeping with my timing of the breath through this practice. As long as you keep your breath slow and steady and try and align your movement with your breath, that's absolutely fine. We've all got different breathing patterns and rhythms. So just think about your own breath and moving with your own breath. So inhaling, coming, lifting the chin, lifting the chest, and breathing here. And on your exhale, taking that move through into your neutral and inhaling here. And then as you exhale, rounding down, rounding the spine up to the ceiling and inhaling here. Exhale, initiate that movement again, coming to your neutral and then inhale here. Exhale, initiating the movement. Inhaling here. Exhale. Take that movement back to your neutral. Inhale here. And then on your exhale, we'll come to the angry cat for the last time. Inhale here. And then come back to your tabletop. Let's bring the right hand in under the face slightly to twist and lift the left arm to the ceiling. As you exhale, thread that arm through behind the right hand, take the shoulder towards the earth and come into your thread the needle. And just breathe gently and slowly here. So in the breath here, not thinking about being too vigorous or over breathing, I call it, sort of that really trying to take deep breaths. Just think about slowing the breath down, so being a little bit more controlled and just gently encouraging the movement of the breath in and out of the body. and really softening with every exhalation. And on your next inhale, plant your right hand to help support you, to bring you back to your seat position. Just perhaps a little shoulder roll here, just to ease into those shoulders, one way and then the other. And perhaps take a note of how this feels in the shoulders here, what that posture has done specifically for that area. And just breathe into that. And then we'll take the other side. So walking the hands forwards, bringing that left hand a little bit more towards the center so that you can inhale the right arm to the ceiling. And as you exhale, threading it through, planting the shoulder, planting the side of the face onto the mat. And just breathing here. So letting that left arm rest wherever is most comfortable. So you can stretch forward in front of the face or just let it hang, whatever's the most comfortable position for you. And just breathe into that stretch. And again, slow, steady inhalations, exhalations, softening with each exhalation. And maybe just observing in this posture if you feel you're carrying any tension anywhere. Send the breath to that area, and as you exhale, let it soften, releasing some of that tension. And then again, when you're ready, plant your hand to help you up as you inhale, coming back, just sit back and gently easing into that shoulder. And then we'll come up take our bum off our heels to walk our hands forwards and see if we can stretch the arms forwards and maybe take the forehead towards the mat. So you can think about how far you want to go forwards here. If it's a challenge to get the forehead to the mat, you might want to put a pillow or maybe just bend the arms a bit to help drop the head. The arms don't have to be stretched out. You can come onto the forearms, which sometimes can be a little bit more accessible. So whatever's working for you, just come into the posture where you feel like you're really stretching the sides of your body and there is a slight extension in the spine. So the chest is moving a little bit towards the mat, but nothing too dramatic. And coming back to the breath. Noting the inhalations and exhalations. And then when you're ready, bringing the arms back, coming back onto the forearms. Maybe take a moment here. And then pushing yourself back to come back to your seat. Perhaps a little shoulder roll again, maybe a little bit of a neck movement, just easing out into the body. We'll come on to our seat now. So come on to the sit bones, bringing the feet in front of you, and bring the soles of the feet together. And use your hands to help support. Perhaps wrap around your toes and let the knees move out to the side. So in this posture, I like to sometimes think about that cantilever, if you like, between the feet and the shoulders. If I grip my feet, I can lift my chest and it helps keep the spine a little bit straighter. So sometimes you can use that sort of leverage on the feet. If it's challenging on the toes, then you can always grip the ankles, but whatever works for you to try and avoid, I suppose, collapsing too much into the spine, to try and keep that space in the body that we're working through. So just come to whatever's working and feeling comfortable. See if you can keep the chest lifted a little bit just to keep that space for the breath to come in and out, and then start to focus on the breath again. So focus on the breathing in, filling the torso, breathing out, just softening and releasing. And perhaps with every exhalation, you might start to feel the knees just drop another millimetre. No forcing, no extra effort required, just that exhalation and that release. You might just start to feel a little softening in the inner hips here. And if there's no movement at all, don't worry, just focus on the breath. You're probably already at the extent of your range of motion, so you got there quicker than most perhaps. And then we'll gently release the toes and we'll take those legs wide. Day to day, we hold a lot of our tension in our hips, and that can cause stress and anxiety in the body more generally. So often opening up the hips, releasing some of this tension that we carry here can really help the rest of us. I know it sounds a bit kind of like, woo, but trust me, it does work. So come to the wide leg seat and perhaps start to make some gentle swaying motion here, just to kind of ease into these hips. Stretching out these adductor muscles, opening up and feeling that release. And giving the legs a nice stroke at the same time, perhaps, as well. And then come back to center. And on your next, take a deep inhale, and on your next exhalation, slide that right hand down towards the right ankle, and whilst at the same time moving that left shoulder back slightly. So just feeling that nice side stretch again here, and focusing that breath in that side. If you're feeling super comfortable here, you might think about taking your left arm up and over perhaps, but you don't need to do that today. This is just a really gentle practice to help ease ourselves out, and sometimes that can make us feel a little bit more ambitious in a moment that really we don't need to be. So just breathing into that stretch. And then inhaling back to the center. And we'll take the other side. So deep inhale, and as you exhale, sliding the left hand down towards the left foot and breathing into that right waist as you take that right shoulder back. And again, if you wish, you can take that arm up and over, but try and ensure that the right seat is still glued to your mat if you're doing that, just to really make sure that the stretch keeps its integrity. And then inhaling back to the center. Another little shoulder roll, and then this time perhaps we'll do a little stir the pot. So just start to move the chest forwards and back as though your spine is a giant spoon and your legs and mat are creating the bowl. So much of yoga is about exploring our imagination. little bit of play involved as well. And then when you've done a few circles one way, perhaps we'll take the circles the other way. And then we come back to the center and we turn and we look towards our right ankle. And then let's tuck our chin to our chest and slowly roll down as though we're trying to get the crown of our head onto our knee. And it doesn't need to get there, it's just if that is the aim, you'll get that lovely flex of the spine, and that will make a nice stretch all through the different spinal muscles and down into the lower back. So breathing here. And as you breathe in this stretch, perhaps imagine the breath coming all the way down the spine to your tailbone and then all the way back up and out. And then gently use your hands to help push you back up to your seat. We turn, we look towards our left ankle, tuck our chin to our chest and slowly roll down. And again, let's imagine that breath travelling all the way down our spine to our tailbone and back up and out. And then we'll gently push into our hands, come back upright, use your hands to help bring your legs in, and we'll go down onto our backs. So make your way there nice and slowly. Really implant every vertebra of your spine onto the mat. And we'll perhaps bring the knees into the chest if that feels good. Give yourself a bit of a hug. Thank yourself for the time that you've committed to your well-being today. And we'll take the feet down to the mat. You can plant them a little bit wider than your hips. Take your arms to cactus, and then we'll just gently windscreen wiper those knees from side to side. So inhale, bring them to the center, and as you exhale, drop them to one side. So the inhalation brings the movement, exhalation allows the release to the side. And then the next side that you land, just stay there, breathing there for a few moments. And again, just noting as you breathe here, if there are any little points of tension in the body where you'd like to send the breath and let it soften as you exhale. And then we'll inhale, bring those knees to center. Let's exhale here before we move. Just note how you feel one side to another. And on your next inhale, nice deep breath. And as you exhale, take them to the other side. And again, just noting any points of tension where you want to send the breath. Are the shoulders nice and relaxed? Is the neck and upper back relaxed? And on the next inhalation, bringing the knees up to the center and then stretching the legs out, taking the arms above your head and give yourself a nice stretch. And then exhale, bring yourself into your Savasana. Closing down the eyes. Make any last minute adjustments that you might need for a nice, comfortable Savasana. So maybe wiggling the feet if you want to grab a blanket or a cardigan or whatever you need just to feel comfortable here. Maybe adjusting your hips slightly. And then just let yourself soften. So breathing nice and steadily. And feeling again as we did at the beginning of the practice, as you inhale, filling the torso. And as you exhale, softening gently into the earth. Continuing with that inhalation, exhalation momentum, just for a few more breaths. As you inhale, fill the torso. Exhale, softening into the earth. And then just allow your breath to fall into its own natural rhythm. And try and let your mind clear. If a thought pops in, whether that's your breath or any other kind of thought, say hello and send it on its way. No need to engage with that thought. Just let your mind be free, be released. Just taking a few moments to just simply be. And do stay here as long as you'd like now. When you're ready, you might want to introduce some movement to your fingers and toes, your wrists and your ankles. Maybe give yourself another hug. Rocking gently from side to side, and maybe rolling gently to one side and making your way back to a seated position. Bring your hands into prayer at your heart center. As you inhale, stretch up. Exhale, bringing your hands down into your heart center. And again, stretching up. Exhaling your hands into your heart center. One last time. Let's stretch up. Exhale your hands into your heart center and bow forwards. Thank you so much for joining me in this gentle practice. I hope you're feeling lovely and relaxed and ready for whatever comes next. I publish a relaxing video every Sunday. There's a playlist now if you want to find more videos that are a little bit along these lines. And if you want something more dynamic and a bit more challenging, then on Tuesdays I do a slightly more movement-based class. So whatever floats your boat, do check out and see if there's something else for you. Whatever you're doing for the rest of your day, have a beautiful, beautiful day. Thank you.